Let's be honest, most students study the same way. They read, highlight, cram, and hope for the best. But here's a secret. That's not how top students at Harvard study. They don't just study harder, they study smarter. Imagine this. Two students sit for the same exam. One spends 10 hours memorizing notes. The other spends only 5 hours but gets a higher grade. Why? Because the second one uses a system that works with the brain, not against it. Harvard students are trained to learn efficiently, not just absorb information, but actually remember it, apply it, and teach it back. And the best part is, you don't need to be at Harvard to use their study methods. Today, we'll uncover the science-backed study techniques that help Harvard students learn faster, retain more, and perform better, and how you can use them starting today. Let's dive in. Big idea 1. Active recall. Don't reread, retrieve. Most students make this mistake. They reread their notes again and again, hoping repetition will make the knowledge stick. But your brain doesn't work like a sponge. It's more like a muscle. When you just read, you're feeding your brain passively. But when you recall, when you try to pull the information out, that's when real learning happens. Harvard students use a simple but powerful method called active recall. Instead of rereading, they test themselves constantly. Here's how it works. After reading a concept, close your notes and ask yourself, can I explain this in my own words? If you can't, that's your signal to review again. Think of it like going to the gym. Reading is watching someone else lift weights. Recalling is actually lifting them yourself. There's a Harvard neuroscience study that found students who use retrieval practice scored significantly higher on exams than those who just reviewed their notes. Action tip. After each study session, write down 5 key questions from what you learned and answer them without looking. That's how Harvard students train their memory muscles. Big idea 2. Spaced repetition. Timing is everything. You've probably experienced this. You study hard for an exam, do well, and 2 weeks later, you forget almost everything. That's called the forgetting curve, and Harvard students know exactly how to fight it. They use spaced repetition, a system that spaces out study sessions so you review information right before you're about to forget it. It's based on the science of memory consolidation, how your brain strengthens neural connections over time. Here's a simple way to understand it. Imagine you're planting seeds in a garden. If you water them all at once, they drown. But if you water them a little every few days, they grow deep roots. Spaced repetition is like watering your brain. Harvard medical students use this method with apps like Anki or Quizlet, which automatically schedule when to review each topic. Action tip. Review new material 1 day after you learn it, then again after 3 days, then 7 days. Each review strengthens your memory, just like layers of paint, making the color brighter. Big idea 3. Interleaving. Mix, don't cram. Here's something surprising. Harvard students don't study one subject for hours straight. They mix it up. This technique is called interleaving. Instead of focusing on one topic for a long time, you switch between related ones. For example, if you're learning math, instead of doing 50 geometry problems in a row, mix geometry, algebra, and trigonometry together. It sounds harder, and that's the point. Your brain learns better when it's challenged to recall and switch context. It's like learning to play sports. If you only practice dribbling, you'll never learn to handle the full game. But if you mix drills, passing, shooting, defense, your brain builds stronger, more flexible connections. A Harvard study showed that students who interleaved different problem types learn faster and retain more information than those who studied one topic in isolation. Action tip. When studying, rotate between 2 to 3 subjects in a session. It keeps your brain active and prevents burnout. Big idea 4. Feynman technique. There's a saying among Harvard tutors, if you can't teach it, you don't understand it. This is where the Feynman technique comes in. named after Richard Feynman, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist who was also a legendary teacher. He believed that true understanding means you can explain something simply. Here's how Harvard students apply it. After learning a topic, they pretend they're teaching it to a 10-year-old, out loud or in writing. If they get stuck or their explanation sounds confusing, they know exactly where their understanding breaks down. It's like shining a flashlight on the dark corners of your knowledge. Let's say you're studying biology. Instead of memorizing, try saying, "The mitochondria is like the power plant of the cell. It takes energy from food and turns it into something the cell can use." That's clarity. Action tip. After every lecture or reading, spend 10 minutes explaining what you learned to yourself, a friend, or even your pet. If you can explain it simply, you've mastered it. Big idea 5. Focus blocks. Deep work, Harvard style. Harvard students know that multitasking kills focus, so they create focus blocks, specific periods of deep, distraction-free work. They follow the principle of deep work popularized by Harvard professor Cal Newport. It's the idea that intense, uninterrupted focus on one task produces exponential results. Here's how it looks in practice. A Harvard student sets a timer for 50 minutes. During that time, no phone, no music, no tabs, no messages, just pure focus. After 50 minutes, they take a 10-minute break. Stretch, move, breathe, and repeat. It's not about studying all day. It's about making your study count. Cal Newport calls it quality over quantity. 1 hour of deep focus can equal 3 hours of distracted studying. Action tip. Try one 50-minute deep focus block today. Put your phone in another room. Close all tabs except one. You'll be shocked how much you can accomplish in less than an hour. Big idea 6. Mindset. Learn to love the process. This might be the biggest secret of all. At Harvard, students aren't just taught to learn, they're taught how to think about learning. They see challenges not as failures, but as feedback. When they struggle, they ask, "What can I learn from this?" instead of, "Why am I bad at this?" That's called a growth mindset, a concept by psychologist Carol Dweck, which is deeply embedded in elite learning environments. It means believing your abilities can grow through effort and smart strategies. Here's a story. A Harvard student once failed his first midterm in physics. Instead of quitting, he analyzed every mistake, joined study groups, and used active recall to master the concepts. By the end of the semester, he earned an A-. The difference wasn't talent, it was mindset. Action tip. The next time you hit a difficult topic, say this to yourself: "I'm not bad at this, I'm learning this." That small shift can change your whole relationship with studying. Big idea 7. Rest and recharge, the Harvard recovery secret. Let's bust a myth. Harvard students are not robots. They actually understand the science of rest. Your brain consolidates memories while you sleep. That means pulling all-nighters actually destroys your learning progress. Top students schedule their best as carefully as their study sessions. They use techniques like the power nap, mindful breaks, or even short walks between classes to recharge their focus. There's a Harvard medical study that shows sleep strengthens connections between neurons, literally rewiring your brain for memory. Action tip. After intense study, take a 10 to 15-minute recovery break. No phone, no scrolling, just breathe, stretch, or step outside. Give your brain time to file away what you've learned. Because rest isn't wasting time, it's part of the work. Many experiment. The Harvard 7-Day Challenge. Now it's your turn. For the next 7 days, try this Harvard Study Challenge. Day 1. Use active recall after your study session. Day 2. Review your material with spaced repetition. Day 3. Try interleaving between 2 subjects. Day 4. Teach what you learned using the Feynman technique. Day 5. Do one focus block with full concentration. Day 6. Apply a growth mindset when you struggle. Day 7. Rest and reflect on what worked best for you. You don't need to do all of them perfectly. Just experiment. See what helps you remember more, stress less, and enjoy learning again. By the end of the week, you'll start studying like a top performer, with focus, clarity, and confidence. So what's the secret behind Harvard students' study success? It's not about being smarter. It's about using strategies that make learning stick. They recall actively, they space their study sessions, they mix subjects, they teach what they learn, they focus deeply, they rest intentionally, and most importantly, they never stop improving. Remember, genius isn't born, it's trained. Start using these habits today, and you'll see results faster than you think. This is ChromaBook Studio, where we turn knowledge into transformation. Subscribe if you want more life-changing ideas that make you smarter every single week. See you in the next video.